The RVers will tell you we love RVing because it allows us to get out, get away from it all, and enjoy a simpler lifestyle. They still want to stay connected and in touch no matter where they are. And if you think we're kidding, go and check out any new RV and see how many you find that aren't wired up for television and Wi-Fi. Today we visit Winegard and sit down with company president and COO Grant Whipple to learn all about the company and its products, past, present, and future.
Winegard started in 1953 by John Winegard, and basically he wanted to receive television signals when that was the only way to communicate, the only medium, from Chicago. So he developed one of the first multi-channel TV antennas, pointed it at Chicago, received the broadcast from there, and that was sort of the beginning because neighbors, friends heard about it, that they were able to receive television from that far away, and the rest was sort of history. Obviously, he repeated that and made other antenna systems for other people in Burlington, and that's how it all started.
And in case you're wondering, the company still manufactures those roof antennas today.
Now, from there, of course, the next real step was C-band satellite. So if you remember the really large 8 to 12 foot dishes that rural America was putting in their backyards, that was Winegard. And so we moved from TV reception to satellite TV reception. From there, we moved on to, as the technologies improved, to much smaller DBS satellite dishes, which is today's modern day Dish Network, DirecTV, those types of services that are allowed. And of course, that really worked well for mobile applications also, because the antenna size got so much smaller. And of course, as we continue to progress, we've moved on into other wireless technologies such as Wi-Fi, 4G LTE, and other wireless broadband communications as we sit now.
What impressed us the most is that Winegard produces all its components in-house, from small metal brackets to the satellite dishes. And where most companies buy their circuit boards, usually from overseas, Winegard produces all its own boards right here in Burlington, Iowa, as Grant explains.
Depending on the circuit board, it of course goes through, more complex circuit boards will go through various stages of tests throughout the process. And what we're checking for is all the data and information that's moved throughout the board to make let's take a satellite system that moves around and automatically locks onto the correct satellite. We want to make sure that that's functioning correctly before we even place it into the product itself. So as that's populated and built, we test it at various stages to make sure that all connections are there, all the RF components are in the right place, and then it moves on throughout the assembly process.
Speaking of testing, not only does every circuit board get tested, but every satellite antenna gets operationally tested right on the assembly line prior to being boxed and shipped. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves here, so let's take a short break, and when we come back, we'll take a tour through this sprawling Winegard facility. Aquachem toss-ins, so fast and easy to use, it could seem like a game. Someone once said, the camping doesn't really start until the RV awning comes out. Whoever said that really knew what they were talking about. Carefree of Colorado, celebrating 45 years of RV awning innovation. For more information, visit our website at carefreeofcolorado.com. Welcome back. Of course, we're here mainly to see what goes into building RV satellite antennas. But can you guess how many different satellite antenna systems Winegard actually builds?
And of course, we not only make satellite antennas for the RV industry, but we also make them for oil and gas exploration, remote communities that just can't receive, any type of TV or internet access. So we even make them for remote residences. So all in all, I'd say, we're well over 20, 30 plus on different types of satellite antennas in general. And that's both for TV and for internet type of services.
It doesn't matter what size dish. They all start from a roll of new steel, then large presses cut and stamp out tens of thousands of dishes each week. Also in the same department, other presses are stamping out and shaping smaller parts like brackets and arms. By the way, all those small pieces of metal scraps you see coming off the presses get recycled and could possibly come right back here as a new roll of steel. The dishes next go to be chemically cleaned and into the paint booth where they get an electrostatic paint finish. Then they go into the oven for drying. Once out of the oven, the dishes are silkscreened with appropriate logos. Once stamped and shaped, all the smaller brackets and components go to a different area where they are submerged in a chemical cleaner, then get a chemical weather protective coating. Later, all these components will come together in their respective assembly areas. As we mentioned at the beginning of this story, Winegard believes in doing virtually everything in-house, and that philosophy includes the customer service department, as Grant explains.
We actually have over 20 technicians and customer service agents who sit right here in Burlington, so they understand the assembly and the factory itself and everything that's going into that. They're all trained before they start on all of our wide array of products, and that close vicinity right here, as opposed to outsourcing the customer service to somewhere else in the country or even outside of the country, we think is also much more efficient and gives the customer a much better experience, because the people understand the product here and they know what they're talking about, as opposed to having to talk to somebody outside our company walls, only to have to wait to get an answer on what's going on, etc. So we really like to give as much customer service as possible to make that ownership experience a good one.
To learn more about Winegard and watch Grant's complete interview, including what's coming up in the future, visit our website at rollinontv.com.